Hello everyone, I am Preeti Dhanda and I welcome you all to Prakash Academy. We were doing motion chapter. In continuation with that, we'll start with circular motion today. Okay, because that topic only is left. I just hope कि आपने बाकी के lectures देख लिए और समझ लिए पूरे, क्योंकि बहुत अच्छे से एक एक टॉपिक आपको एक्सप्लेन किया है उसमें। मुझे लगता है आपको उसके बाद कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी कोई भी क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने के लिए। अब किसी भी तरह का कोई भी क्वेश्चन आएगा यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व। बहुत अच्छे से क्लैरिटी से कंसेप्ट उसमें बता दिए प्रीवियस आपके लेक्चर्स में। तो आज हम सर्कुलर मोशन जो रिमेनिंग टॉपिक है वो भी कंप्लीट कर लेंगे, सो दैट नेक्स्ट आपके लेक्चर में हम एकदम टिपिकल आपके जो कंसेप्चुअल एप्लीकेशन टाइप क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ये फुल चैप्टर के हम लोग बोलेंगे। ठीक है, तो चलो स्टार्ट करते हैं सर्कुलर मोशन। अच्छा, अब सर्कुलर मोशन आप सब ने पढ़ा हुआ है, स्टार्टिंग से पढ़ रहे हैं हम लोग। क्या? whenever a body that circulates in this manner, the path of the body that is circular, we call it a circular motion. Okay, just tell me, when a body is moving in a circular path, can you tell me the direction in which it is moving? Just tell me the direction at this particular point. A point, what will be its direction? At B point, what will be its direction? C point, what will be its direction? D point direction. Will the direction that remains same? Suppose a body that starts from, suppose D, it starts moving like this, taking this particular path. So what will be the direction? What we'll say? We'll say circular motion, it is there because it is moving in a circular path. It is taking clockwise direction, but actually what will be the direction at D point, C point, A point, B point? What will be the direction? Will the direction will say the same direction? No. The thing is that at each and every point of a circle, the direction is different. And how do we find direction at a point? We just draw tangent to a point. That will give the direction. Okay, then at each and every point, the direction is different in a circular path. How we can compare this? Suppose we draw a polygon inside a circle. This is a polygon, this is 8-sided polygon. So this is octagonal. Polygon having 8 sides is octagonal. Now in this case, this path, we can say the direction is here. For this particular path, we can say the direction is here, then like this, then for this part like this, then for this path like this. And for 8 different paths, we have 8 different directions. So consider a circle made up of n or infinite number of sides of a polygon. So for that infinite sides of a polygon, there will be infinite directions. That is why I just said that a circle at each and every point, the direction is different. This is the first concept that you must always remember, that what is that concept? In a circle, at each and every point, the direction that changes. Okay, that is there. Now this concept is clear. Now we'll go further. As we have done linear displacement, we'll do angular displacement also. Okay, so what will be the angular displacement? For that we should know what is angular position. So what is angular position? Angular position is the angle. So angular position is given by the angle. One thing is that. Okay, So this is the angle made by the radius of the circle with a reference direction. Okay. So this is the radius of a circle, this is the center of the circle, this is the radius of the circle. So the angle made by the radius of the circle with a reference direction in this particular direction. So this the angle made theta, that is the angular position of a particle. Okay. So what will be the angular displacement? Angular displacement is change in angular position over time. Suppose this is the center of the circle O. Initially the body is moving in this particular x direction, let's suppose here. After t1 time it has moved here. So how much it has moved? The angular movement is theta 1. Now after time t2 it has moved this much again. Now how much is the angular displacement, or how much is the now what is the angular position of the particle? Angular position is given by the angle made by the radius. Okay, so this angle theta 2. So at t2 we can say the angular position is theta 2, and at t1 the angular position is theta 1. So angular displacement, that is delta theta, the angular displacement, change in theta. So change in theta over earth, this thing, initial it was theta 1, final it is theta 2. So change will be given by theta 2 minus theta 1. So this is the angular displacement. Okay. Now when we have done displacement, we'll come over to the velocity. So what is angular velocity? So angular velocity, that is given by omega. Important point. Okay. So it is denoted by the letter omega, like this. What is velocity? We know rate of change of displacement, that is velocity. So angular displacement will be rate of change of angular displacement. Correct. So omega will be delta theta by delta t. Now what is delta theta? Theta, that is change in angular displacement. Now what was the change in angular displacement? Final position minus initial position. So final was theta 2 and initial was theta 1. So theta 2 minus theta 1 over change in time. So what was change in time? T2 minus T1. So this is your angular velocity. Okay. Now there are few more terms which are specific to circular motion. What are they? They are time period and frequency. Time period and frequency. So what is time period? Time period is time taken, how much time it takes to complete one revolution. Suppose this is the circle and it has to complete one full circle. So from here it started, took this path and then again come back, and it took 5 seconds. So we'll say that the time period of this particular particle to complete one full revolution of this circular path is 5 seconds, and it is denoted by capital T. So capital T would be given by 5 seconds. That is the time taken. Now frequency. What is frequency? Frequency is the inverse of time period. So frequency is inverse of time period. Okay. Frequency is inverse of time period. And how we, if we have to define, how we will define? It is number of revolutions in 1 second. Number of revolutions, this frequency f can be written as n also. It is 1 over time period, and it is, if we have to define, we'll say It is number of revolutions per second. एक सेकेंड में वो कितने रेवोल्यूशन करता है. Body can do 1 also, 1.5 also, 1/4 also. So number of revolutions it is doing in 1 second. That is frequency, and the total time taken to complete one full revolution is the time period. Okay. Now, how linear velocity and angular velocity are related to each other? That is also very important. What is angular velocity and what is linear velocity in a circular motion? Suppose this is the diagram that I have drawn. Okay. In this is the center. Okay. I said linear velocity is always given by the tangent that we draw. So this will be the linear velocity or the tangential velocity. Omega, that is the velocity with which it changes its direction. That is this angular velocity. So how they are related to each other? We say they are related like V is equal to R cross omega, where V is the linear velocity, R is the radius of the circle, and omega is the angular velocity. Okay, fine. So we'll go further. Now we have done your angular velocity also, angular displacement, angular velocity. So the next thing which comes up is centripetal acceleration. What is centripetal acceleration? Now what is acceleration? We have done acceleration, that is equal to your change in velocity over time taken. Similarly, this centripetal acceleration, because it gives the place with respect to angular velocity, so here we can say that it is change in your angular velocity over time taken. Now, this can be written as, now how we can write this? We can write this as delta omega, or we can write omega. Okay. Omega over time taken is capital T. So omega over, what is the time period? 1 by T is frequency only. We can write the frequency. This also. Okay. Or we can write it like, how we can write? Just tell me. Can we write it in terms of linear velocity? Yes, we can write it as V square over R also. How we can write V square over R? That is there. Okay. Now can we write in terms of angular velocity and radius? Yes, we can write that also. And how? We know V equal to R omega. How linear velocity and angular velocity they are related? So here I can write R square omega square over R. 1 R will get cancelled with this one. So we are left with R omega square. Correct? So we can use any of these formulas. Generally that we use is centripetal acceleration, that is given by V square over R. Okay, or R omega square in terms of angular velocity. Otherwise we can say that change in angular velocity over the time taken. Okay. Now what is centripetal force? Centripetal force is force required to keep an object moving in a circular path. And what is the formula for force? How do we give force? force, that is equal to m into a. Mass into acceleration. So here the acceleration that we will take will be your centripetal acceleration. And the formula for centripetal acceleration is v square by r. So that is why here we'll just substitute that value and we'll get m into v square by r. Or we can also write in terms of angular velocity. So m r omega square. Okay, so what we have done? We have done angular displacement, angular velocity, angular your centripetal acceleration, your centripetal force. Now tell me the difference between uniform and non-uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, we say, suppose this is the circle. I told you one very important point in the beginning, the very first thing, the direction at each and every point of a circle is different. Okay, because this is required here. What is uniform circular motion? Means the speed remain constant in uniform circular motion. In non-uniform circular motion, speed that changes. Now here the speed is changing. Okay, acha. So speed is changing, so it will have both magnitude change also and velocity, direction of velocity change also. Direction of velocity will change in uniform circular motion also. Now just tell me, in uniform circular motion, will there be acceleration? Acceleration is change in velocity over time. So speed is constant. So will there be any change in velocity in uniform circular motion? Yes. Why? Because speed is constant, but in circular motion direction changes at each and every point. So even if these 2 points they have same velocity, but the direction will be different. So it will be accelerated motion. So there will be only centripetal acceleration, not the tangential acceleration. Tangential acceleration is present in non-uniform circular motion and it is only because of change in speed also in a circular motion. If there is change in speed, then there will be tangential acceleration. Okay. So because here the speed that is changing, so kinetic energy will also change. But here because there is no change in speed, so no change in kinetic energy in uniform circular motion. Now here I just told you that there is a tangential acceleration because of change in speed, and tangential acceleration is given by the tangential velocity. That is given by when we draw tangent at any point, that will give us the velocity, the direction, and the velocity will be given to you. Okay. So this tangential acceleration that will only occur when there is change in speed in circular motion. Okay. So this dv by dt is nothing but change in velocity over time. So in your class in 9th standard, only this much concepts they are required for a circular motion. Okay, so let's take up some problems. Simple problem. Now you will be understand each and everything. There is a grinding wheel, okay, of radius 7.6 centimeter. Always remember, whenever you are solving a numerical problem, the first thing, which all things are given to you, please write those things. And if they are not in SI units, the standard units, please convert them into standard units. So first thing is that only. So they have given the radius of the wheel, that is 7.6 centimeter. So that is in centimeter. So we need to convert it into meter because the SI unit of length is meters. And how we convert? we should know 1 meter that is equal to 100 centimeter. This is how we will convert. So 7.6 centimeter will be equal to how many meters? So divided by 100. Okay. Now this is rotating at 1750 rpm. Now what is this rpm? This is rotations per minute. Rotations per minute. So rotation per minute is the unit of which? Frequency. F, small f or n, that is frequency. But that is number of revolutions it does in 1 second. But here it is given in minutes. Per minute. Just convert it into per second. So how will convert? We just divided by 60. Why? Because 1 minute that is equal to 60 seconds. So we will convert this RPM into revolutions per second. How? By dividing it by 60, because 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. Now that thing also we have got. Now they are asking for speed at the outer edge of the wheel and the centripetal acceleration. Okay. Now the speed at the outer edge means outer edge is this one, outer edge. Okay, if we have to find, so this is the linear speed that we have to find. So linear speed formula is V is equal to R omega. So omega that is required, that means first, what is omega? Omega is the angular velocity. Now what is the formula for omega? Omega is given by 2 pi by t, or we can write omega that is given by 2 pi by t. So 1 by t is nothing but your frequency, or your frequency can be represented by n also. So that is frequency, and frequency is given to us 1750 rotations per minute. We have converted into per second. So 2 pi is 3.14 you can take, or 22 by 7. N is the frequency that is given to us. Just substitute the values and solve. This is omega. Now, but we have to find speed at the outer edge, and speed of the outer edge is the linear speed, the tangential speed that you have to find. So that is equal to R, that is radius, into omega. Radius is also known to us, and omega we just found here. Just substitute the values, you will get the linear velocity. Now the next part says we have to find centripetal acceleration. Okay ji. Now centripetal acceleration formula is v square by r. Correct. Now v is your linear velocity, we just found linear velocity square over the radius. Just solve it and you will get the acceleration. What is the unit for acceleration? Meter per second square. Okay. So this is how we will solve. Now the next question. Next question, a cyclist that travels from center O of a circular park, radius is given to you 1 kilometer, reaches P, then goes 1/4 of the circumference to Q and then returns to center. What means? From center it is starting, it is going to P, that is the radius of the circle, which is given to you as 1 kilometer. Then it travels like this from P to Q, that is 1/4 of a circle, and then again from Q to O. So again 1 kilometer, this distance will be again 1 kilometer, the radius of the circle. Now from P to Q, this path, how much will that be? We know the circumference of the circle. What is the circumference of the circle? 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle. And this is 1/4. So So 1/4 of circumference will be 1/4 of 2 pi r. Correct. Okay, so from PQ I can write PQ that is equal to 1/4 of the circumference, which is 2 pi r. That comes out to be pi r by 2. Correct? Okay. Now, first we'll write what all things are given. OP is given 1000 meters. Again it is given in kilometers, but we have to convert it into standard unit meter. PQ 1/4 of 2 pi r. Okay, that is pi r by 2. We'll just substitute the values. Pi you can take 22/7 or 3.14. Radius 1000 divided by 2. Correct. QO. QO is, we have done, that is again the radius only, QO. So radius is given 1 kilometer or 1000 meters. So the total distance it has travelled, that is the sum of all these. This is the total distance it has travelled. Okay, and how much time it has taken to travel? 10 minutes. Again, minutes is not the standard unit. We have to convert it into seconds. So we know 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. So total time taken is 600 seconds. 10 into 60. Now this is the total distance travelled. What is the displacement? See, it has started from O. First took this path O to P, then P to Q, then Q to O. So it has reached again the original point only. So the total displacement is 0 only. So net displacement is 0. Okay. Okay, ji. Net displacement is 0. If net displacement is 0, what would be the average velocity? Average velocity is the total displacement over total time taken. Average velocity, that is given by total displacement over total time taken. Now the total displacement is 0 only. So the average velocity that comes out to be 0. Okay. Now what is average speed? Average speed is total distance that it has travelled over total time taken. So total distance it has travelled this much. Over total time taken is 600 seconds. So that will be your answer. Okay. Let's take up one more numerical problem. Okay. So you understood now this much? Okay. Now a 2 kg body is whirled in a horizontal circle using a 3 meter long string. I have taken this 2 kg, the mass of this is 2 kg, this is 3 meter string and it is whirled like this. This is my pen and here suppose that object is, which is of 2 kg, so it is whirled like this. Correct? Now, what all is given to us? It is given R, the radius, because 3 meter string only will be making that much radius only will be made. So the radius would be 3 meters only. And it is making 60 revolutions per minute, again per minute. 60 revolutions per minute. This is the frequency which is given, but the unit we take it in seconds. And here it is given in minutes. So what we will do? We will divide it by 60. So n that will be equal to 60 divided by 60 because 1 minute equal to 60 seconds. So it comes out to be 1 revolution per second. Okay. Now, what all things we have to find? First we have to find angular velocity. Angular velocity is omega. Okay. Omega. What is the formula for omega? 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. Okay. So 1 by t is frequency also. and frequency is given to be 1 revolution per second. So the total omega would be 2 pi into 1. Pi, the value of pi you can take as 3.14 or you can take as 22 by 7. So if we will take 3.14 into 2, so it is 6.28 radians per second. That is important. Okay. Now linear velocity you have to find. Now what will be the linear velocity? The relation between angular velocity and linear velocity is v is equal to r omega, where r is the radius, omega is the angular velocity. R radius is also known to us, angular velocity we just found out. So that came out to be 18.85 meter per second. 3 into 6.28, that is the angular velocity. Now we want centripetal acceleration. Okay. So centripetal acceleration is what? The formula for that is v square by r. This is the linear velocity v. We know 18.85. So square of that divided by r, radius is given 3. We'll just solve it and we'll get the answer. Now tension in the string. We want tension in the string also. Tension is nothing but the force here. So what is the formula for force? Mass into centripetal acceleration. Mass into centripetal acceleration. So mass is given as 2 kg body. So 2 and centripetal acceleration. We just got the answer 118.4. That only will do and we'll get the result. Okay. Okay. So today's session will stop here. I hope you understood the full concept of circular motion, how we'll have to find linear velocity, angular acceleration, centripetal acceleration and the tension. These concepts only we have done. How we can find the time period and the frequency, and how time period and frequency are related, how linear and angular velocity are related. These things we have done. Okay. Chalo, we'll stop here. Have fun, and if you have liked this session, please like, share and subscribe to our channel, which is Prakash Academy, for more such videos. So I'll take a leave and see you tomorrow with new this session with all the conceptual and practical application questions based on this particular chapter. Okay. See you. Take care.